I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's popping, guys? Hope you guys are doing well, doing blessed, having a good day, having a good week. UFC Paris, Ciryl Gane versus Serghei Spivac. And before we make predictions and breakdowns, we look at the bets from last week and last night. Now, UFC Singapore wasn't great. We broke even on the right side. Sometimes we lose like $20 and you see it as like a break even, and sometimes you win $10 and you also see it as a break even. This was a break even situation on the right side, so that's good. Now, UFC Contender Week 4, this wasn't good. This was a bad card. However, guys, after looking at the stats for the whole of August, it's still one of our best months on Patreon. It's still a great month. And for all of my Patreon members, I will publish all the stats and all of that stuff later on today for August or tomorrow. But I glanced over the stats last night, and August, it's a good month. And guys, how I know August was a good month, our return on investment before August was at 13%, which is super good. But now August is done. I think we've made 25 bets, or just over 25 bets for the whole month. Our return on investment has gone from 13% to 15.8. You know, do a little bit of research online and look at those numbers. You know, you're not going to come across those numbers often. Those numbers are alien. 15.8% return on investment 8 months into 2023. Call me Lionel Messi, the GOAT. Lionel Messi, let's go. Alright, jumping into the Money City segment. As always, if you want your Money City comment to feature, do as these legends have done and hashtag your comment Money City. And shout out to the champions. All the Money City champions are sparked the blunt in your honour for being champions. By the way, the French love to smoke. They love to smoke. Alright, let's go. Alright, moving into the first matchup on this card, we've got Zarah Fairn taking on Jacqueline Cavalcanti. And guys, Zarah's nearly 40 years old. She's never been that good. I remember on our last breakdown, I compared her to an ironing board. And that's because she's kind of flat-footed. She stands nice and tall, and her agility's not good. You know, as Conor McGregor would say, she's stuck in the mud. That's how it looks when you watch Zarah Fairn. Whereas on the flip side, Jacqueline Cavalcanti's 10 years younger, and she's got some nice Muay Thai, some good Muay Thai strikes. Guys, to be honest, I'm not sure why Zarah's in the UFC, and this is probably going to be our last matchup. And guys, I know Jacqueline Cavalcanti will be making her UFC debut, but essentially she's a better mixed martial artist and also a better striker than Zarah Fairn. So yeah, I think it's one of those situations where we get a swap on the roster. You know, Zarah's not good enough to be in the UFC. Jacqueline Cavalcanti looks pretty good. So yeah, my first prediction with this matchup, the ironing board, Zarah Fairn, she's going to get dusted. My prediction is Jacqueline Cavalcanti to win this matchup. Alright, moving into a matchup between Farid Basharat taking on Kleydson Rodrigues. And this is a good matchup. Now guys, the Basharat brothers, if you've not seen them fight, don't worry. If you've not seen Farid Basharat fight, don't worry. This is a good matchup to catch. And the reason for that is Kleydson Rodrigues is a good opponent. But yeah, Farid Basharat is very similar to his brother. The cardio is very good. The decision making in the fight is good. The footwork, consistent, always moving his feet. Farid Basharat is just one of these fighters that if you're going to beat him, you've probably got to catch the chin nice and early. You know, KO nice and early. And guys, the reason I come to that conclusion, how do you compete with the speed of Farid Basharat after 10 minutes? How do you compete with the footwork after 10 minutes? You know, how do you compete with the wrestling after 10 minutes if you're fatigued and Farid Basharat still isn't tired? So yeah, I do believe to beat Farid Basharat, it's going to be very difficult. However, Kleydson Rodrigues is extremely powerful. His Muay Thai kicks are good, they're nasty. But guys, here's the problem with Kleydson Rodrigues. He's a Muay Thai striker. And what do you do with the Muay Thai striker in a mixed martial arts fight? Let's wrestle, kid. Let's wrestle. Let's wrestle. So yeah, guys, I think Kleydson Rodrigues is probably going to feel the fatigue later in this fight. And I think it's, you know, either an early stoppage or Farid Basharat finds a stoppage later on. It's good matchmaking. You know, both of these guys are prospects. but I'm more of a fan of Farid Basharat, so that's going to be my pick. Alright guys, moving into a difficult matchup to predict. We've got Joselyne Edwards taking on Nora Cornolle, and Nora is the newcomer. She's a Muay Thai striker, and Nora's going to be looking to deliver a nice performance in front of her own people this weekend in Paris. And if you look at the tape of Nora, she's a Muay Thai striker, and the clinch work, the Muay Thai clinch, she seems effective there. You know, really frames off the opponent, which creates space for elbows and knees against the fence. And guys, don't forget, Joselyne Edwards got badly hurt by Ramona Pascal, a big knee to the body that nearly stopped her. So guys, if these girls clinch up, look for Nora to really work the body of Joselyne against the fence in the Muay Thai clinch. I would say a weakness of Joselyne is her ground game, her get-up game. She's not really that good on the mat. Rarely does she work back to the feet or even sweep. Her ground game's not that advanced. But guys, Nora's a Muay Thai striker, not a grappler. So we're going to see a striking matchup. And like I said, we're going to see that Muay Thai clinch. We're going to see the fence battle in this fight. And I think Nora's good there. Guys, another weakness of Joselyne is she typically slows down. That's another weakness that I don't like. So guys, anytime she wins a fight, it's super close. And if it's super close, there's robberies to be had. But yeah guys, this is going to be a difficult prediction to make because Nora's obviously inexperienced. This is going to be the biggest fight of her career and it's her UFC debut. And on the flip side, Joselyne Edwards, you know, the get-up game's not good. The takedown defense is not good. She slows down and she's weak to the body. I'm going to side with Nora, the newcomer, to put on a nice Muay Thai striking performance in front of her own people this weekend. That's my pick. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Ange Loosa taking on McKee. And guys, this is a good matchup. It's a good fight. Now, Ange Loosa is quite evidently very powerful. This dude can knock you dead. And McKee is there to be hit. His striking defense is very questionable, but guys, his chin is solid. Solid chin. So guys, although his defense is very bad, his chin can withstand some nice damage. And I think a big difference in this matchup, in my opinion, would be the cardio. Guys, notice how Loosa's way easier to hit outside of round 1. Notice how his explosive punches are easier to read outside of round 1. Guys, to be honest, it's almost like his game kind of falls apart after 5 minutes. It doesn't entirely fall apart because he was able to dig deep against AJ Fletcher and win that final round. But it kind of looks like, you know, outside of round 1, you can beat Ange Loosa. You know, you can get the reads. You can start to land the jab, land the kicks. But guys, I do want to say this. McKee's the opposite. His round 1 is okay. Round 1's good. But round 2 is much better. So guys, in my opinion, McKee kind of goes through the gears as the fight progresses. You know, gets better as the fight progresses. And I kind of think that's going to be the result. You know, the cardio, the output, the pressure, the toughness, the willingness, all these things McKee's got. And I just kind of think the underdog's going to show that. After 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I think Ange Loosa's going to will. And I see McKee getting his first win in the UFC. And guys, don't forget McKee was younger back in 2020. As we all was, obviously. That's maths. That's science. But yeah, he was younger back in 2020. I think he's more mature now. And he's ready to show that. So yeah, that's my pick. Let's go, McKee. Alright, moving into a matchup where both of these fighters originally had different opponents, now scheduled to fight each other. We've got a former champion in Loughran, former champion in Cage Warriors, set to prove his ability at the highest level against Taylor Lapilus, who will be returning to the UFC. And guys, this is also going to be Southpaw versus Orthodox. Loughran being the Orthodox and Lapilus being the Southpaw striker. Now guys, before I get into speaking about this matchup, sporting events are crazy, right? Sporting events are great. I think English fans are some of the best. The Brazilian fans, super passionate. The Americans are also very passionate. And I think you feel that more so outside of mainstream areas like Las Vegas. Now guys, without a doubt, the French fans, these guys are nuts. These guys are nuts. So guys, there's going to be a hostile crowd making a lot of noise. And you've got to prepare for that. Now, some people might say, well, the fans can't fight for you. The teammates can't fight for you. The coaches, none of these people can fight for you. And guys, all of this is true. Right? Mixed martial arts is not a team game. It's not a team game. Because when you go to the cage, it's only you that fights back. Only you fight. Now, of course, the preparation is all with a team. And outside the cage, it is a team game. But when you go to the cage, it's all about you. And guys, when your fans are going crazy and the preparation's been great, it almost helps you rise to the occasion. You know, who's going to rise to it? Who's going to rise to all the support? Now, guys, Taylor Lapilus, he's good, man. The management of range, the kicks are nice. He's quick. He's technically good. But Loughran is also proven to be good. He's stocky. Short and stocky, but powerful and strong. So if you're somebody that's going to bet on Kalen, understand the hostile environment he's going to be competing in. If you're somebody that's going to bet Lapilus, understand he's fighting somebody that is going to look to overcome all the adversity. You know, this one's a good fight. And I'm going to side with Loughran. I haven't seen a betting line yet, but I think he's probably going to be an underdog. And that might be a good underdog play. So I'm going to side with the former bantamweight champion, the newcomer, and the fighter who's already competing against an uphill battle going over to France. I'm going to side with Loughran. Alright, moving into a matchup between Morgan Charriere versus Manolo Zecchini. Guys, I think Morgan Charriere is more well-rounded here. In terms of boxing, explosive combinations with the boxing, the hooks are very quick, powerful. I think his calf kicks are also good, and the wrestling will absolutely be something he can choose to implement against his opponent. I think the wrestling will cause good adversity that may be too difficult for Zecchini to overcome, especially later in the matchup. However, guys, I will say Manolo Zecchini has excellent kicks. His kicks are really dangerous. And if you said to me, guys, look, if Zecchini wins this matchup, how does he do it? I would say he's got to find a big stoppage with a kick. You know, maybe kick low a few times, then raise the kick. Surprise Morgan with a head kick, which is obviously one of the main reasons why we love mixed martial arts so much. You know, you just don't know what's going to happen next. You know, you think you know, then bang, you're going crazy. And obviously that's what fighting is, right? Fighting is about that. We know that. But every time it happens, it's still a surprise. And that's how you know you love mixed martial arts. Because every single week it's the same thing, but it doesn't feel like the same thing. It feels like I'm waiting to see the first knockout I've ever seen. You know, every week. It's the greatest thing. But like I said, I think Morgan Charriere is more well-rounded. And that's going to be my pick. Hey, if you waited to smoke with me, amen. You've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, that's always been a triple amen. Let's go. All praise to God Almighty, as always. Now guys, as I mentioned earlier in the intro, the ROI is at 15.8%. So if you're looking to join the MoneyCity Discord group or looking for my personal bets or the value props, all of this can be found on my Patreon. And guys, please don't sign up until September. Right, because August is done. So wait until September starts and then sign up. Don't sign up in August. But yeah, this card's going to be good. The French fans on the last French card, they went insane. And they're going to do it again. I cannot wait. Let's go. Alright, moving into a matchup between William Gomis taking on Ghemmouri. And my goodness, this is a good matchup. And the reason why this one's a good matchup, William Gomis is a fantastic kicker. His kicks are very good. And on the flip side, Ghemmouri is also a very good kickboxer. His kicks are elite. So thinking about the matchup on the feet, you've got kicker versus kicker. And both are very, very good at kicking. And sometimes, guys, you've got a really good kicker. And the opponent can also kick, but they're not elite with the kicks. For example, Melsik Bagdasaryan versus Tucker Lutz. Tucker's a wrestler, but his Muay Thai kicks are okay. But if you compare his kicks to Melsik Bagdasaryan, then there's no comparison. In this situation, you've got Ghemmouri and William Gomis, who are both fantastic kickers. So guys, I think it's probably wise to think about the matchup outside of the striking. You know, you've got two very good strikers, but what about the grappling? What about if the fight goes to the mat? I think William Gomis, you know, he's got a size advantage and he could potentially get the better of the grappling situation. So guys, in a very good striking matchup on the feet, the fight could be decided by taking the fight away from the striking, taking the fight to the mat. And that's where I think William Gomis could potentially win this matchup. So that's going to be my pick. Alright, moving into a matchup between Volkan Ozdemir taking on Bogdan Guskov. Now guys, let's speak about Volkan Ozdemir. Initially, Volkan came into the UFC and he would touch the chin of his opponent and find an early KO stoppage. And then he'd point to his wrist, as if his wrist had a watch, to signify, you know, I got the fight done in no time. And that's where he got his octagon name from, Volkan No Time Ozdemir. However, times do change, and Volkan Ozdemir has been humbled more than once. He got folded like a deck chair against Jiří Procházka. He wilted against Anthony Smith. He couldn't really get anything going against Ankalaev. And in his most recent fight, he lost to Nikita Krylov, a fighter that doesn't really win on the scorecards, but did against Volkan Ozdemir. And guys, even against Paul Craig, I bet Volkan Ozdemir against Paul Craig, and it just seemed like his killer instinct, it was gone. He won the fight, but the nature of the performance, it was just lackluster. Wasn't impressive. And I kind of think Volkan Ozdemir is somebody that's difficult to trust these days. Whereas the newcomer, Bogdan Guskov, he's doing to his opponents what Volkan used to do to his opponents. And of course we can say the level of competition is different and Volkan would KO those guys too. He probably would. However guys, the confidence is big in combat. You know, when you go to the cage to compete, when you go to the cage to fight, you've got to be confident and you've got to have that killer instinct. And I feel like that's gone from the game of Volkan Ozdemir. And because of that, I will be taking a prediction here on the newcomer, Bogdan Guskov, to get an early stoppage. Alright, moving into a matchup between Benoit Saint-Denis taking on... Who's he taking on? Who is it? Thiago Moises, that's it. This is a good matchup, a good fight. Now guys, essentially what you've got is grappler versus grappler. We know Thiago Moises has excellent BJJ. His jiu-jitsu super good. You know, a jiu-jitsu champion. So if you go to the mat with Thiago Moises, you're going to learn. You're going to learn about jiu-jitsu. But guys, Benoit Saint-Denis used to be a special ops or in the army, something like that. And you see the toughness. This guy is so tough. And of course, when you're in the army, the mental toughness is what you get taught, because everything stems from the brain. What the brain says to do, you will do if you're trained to do it. And Benoit's a competitor. You know, this guy's tough. And guys, I did predict Benoit Saint-Denis to beat Bonfim. I took Benoit submission or decision. It was like plus 350. I didn't take it, but I did advise it on my Patreon for all the value prop bettors. And that one smacked. It smacked. So Benoit can do that. He can grapple. He can take you to the mat. But guys, Thiago, his jiu-jitsu's super good. So if Benoit Saint-Denis chooses to grapple with Thiago, that's what he's choosing to compete against. And of course, that's risky, right? Because Benoit's not Islam Makhachev. I know he's good. I know he's tough. But he's not Islam Makhachev. Now, if the fight stays on the feet, you do have two grapplers striking. Right, and Benoit will fire that rear kick. We see that against Bonfim, throwing the kick to the body over and over and over. But guys, Thiago Moises has improved with his Muay Thai striking. You know, his Muay Thai kicks, they're not bad. And of course, he's a grappler. He's always going to be primarily a grappler, and same with Benoit Saint-Denis. But thinking about the striking in this matchup is something you've got to do, because if you've got two grapplers and they go to strike, now you're looking at who's the better striker, even though they're not strikers. So I think Benoit's very tough. He's willing to show the toughness. I think Moises is obviously improved his Muay Thai kicks. I think if it goes to the mat, you've got a Jiu-Jitsu world champion against a very tough wrestler, a good grappler. Guys, initially I was siding with Benoit Saint-Denis, but I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to change my prediction last second. I know it's a tough matchup. I know Benoit really impressed us against Bonfim, but Moises has experience. He's got the jiu-jitsu, his kicks are good. And I just think if Benoit fatigues, if he starts to slow down, if he starts to get lazy, starts to make mistakes, the experience of Moises could be the difference. So that's going to be my pick at plus money. Alright, moving into a matchup between Fiorot taking on Rose Namajunas. My goodness gracious me. The UFC has put together an absolute banger with this matchup. Now guys, let's have it right. Let's speak facts. Rose Namajunas is one of the best to ever grace the octagon. That's literally a fact. 2 wins over Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Not 1, but 2. Insane. 2 wins over Weili Zhang. Not one, but two. Insane. She redeemed herself against Jessica Andrade in the rematch. And when it's all said and done, I think all of us will easily remember just how great Rose Namajunas was and is. However, guys, there is a rising star here in Benoit Fiorot. And if you don't know about Benoit Fiorot, there's a great opportunity this weekend to really learn about her ability inside the octagon. Now, guys, Benoit Fiorot's got excellent Muay Thai striking. Her ability to land damaging kicks is at a very good level. And guys, not only is the technique there for Benoit Fiorot, but the power in the technique is really what causes damage. And in the gym, you focus more on actual technique. But under the bright lights, now is the time to put violent intentions into the technique. And Benoit Fiorot has no issue doing that on fight night, as you'll see this weekend. And Rose is going to be moving up to flyweight, which is something to think about with this matchup, especially against somebody that can match the technique of Rose Namajunas. Guys, if Rose is matched in terms of technicality, if Rose is matched in terms of moves being made, if Rose is matched in the kicking department and also outmatched in terms of power and physicality, I would have to say it's going to be a very difficult fight for the former champion Rose Namajunas. However, she's proven me wrong once, she's proven me wrong twice, she's proven me wrong more than twice, and if she did it again, would I complain? No, I would not. I would say, Doug Rose, what a gangster. But my prediction will be the rising star, Benoit Fiorot, to win this matchup. Alright, moving into the main event, we've got Ciryl Gane taking on Serghei Spivac, and this is a very, very good main event. Now, guys, it's very black and white in terms of what Ciryl Gane needs to do and what Serghei Spivac needs to do to win this main event. You don't have to be a genius to figure out what both fighters have to do and want to do. You've got two very different styles. Ciryl Gane is the definition of a high-class striker, a chess player. And guys, I know I use the saying chess player a lot when describing really good, talented strikers, but that's really how it is. You know, fighting is a violent chess match with dire consequences. And I think the best strikers in the world understand that the most. So they kind of operate from that understanding, and you really see that in the game of Ciryl Gane. He can switch stances at a blink of an eye, the variety of kicks, the lightness, the speed, it's all clear to see. However, guys, on the flip side, you have a mauler, you have a bear in Serghei Spivac. And guys, one time I got really stoned and I was watching bear hunting videos on YouTube, because obviously in England we don't have bears to hunt. See, I was watching some bear hunting video and this American dude randomly turns around and says to the cameraman, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, good night. Guys, Serghei Spivac is that white bear. He is the polar bear. And if he gets Ciryl Gane to the mat, it's potentially night-night. It's potentially good night. The polar bear takes no prisoners. The ground and pound of Serghei Spivac is super nasty. And there's a very, very good chance that if he gets Ciryl Gane to the mat, it's good night. However, guys, I think if Ciryl Gane can survive round one, there's a good chance that Spivac slows down to the point where his wrestling isn't effective to bring Gane back to the mat. So really, I think it's about surviving early if you're Ciryl Gane. It's a very, very risky fight to bet. But if you're going to bet this matchup, you've got to understand the risk. The risk is if Ciryl Gane goes to the mat, he's competing against a bear and the bear might maul him. If Spivac can't stop the fight early and he slows down, the striking of Ciryl Gane, he's going to pick the bear apart. Super risky matchup to bet in my opinion, guys, but I'm going to side with Ciryl Gane to stop Spivac. If he survives round one, I think then he goes on to find a stoppage. It's about surviving early in my opinion. As always, guys, drop down your main event, your co-main event, your doubles, your single bets, your MoneyCity bets. Drop all that in the comment section below. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Peace.